Okay, we are going to add text, and this is not hard to do, but it is time consuming, specifically trying to choose and see what looks good. And the more fonts you have to choose from, the harder it becomes in a good way. So I'm going to select here T for text. There we go. And here is your drop down. And I'm just going to pick anything that has popped up here. Let me click on that one and just put text in. It's going to make me work for it today. Okay, there we go. And I selected it, hit enter, and that changed this from the word layer to sample, so I know that that text is in there. And I click on it. There's a couple of ways to increase. I'm just going to play with it here. There we go. And I want to change the color, so I'm coming up here to the top. Right now, all of this is dedicated to text. So we're going to click on Color Picker. Let's try that really dark teal blue. And it doesn't stand out. I'm going to go to Layer, Layer Style. I want to add a drop shadow. Again, it's completely up to you. Some people like that very soft faded look with no drop shadow and no anything else to it. There are just so many options here. You can change the angle, how that lies. Kind of like that back that direction. I do want it a little bit bolder, so I'm going to bring that up. And I'm going to try to increase the size, and that's a little much. I like that. Now you have all of these options here, including styles. And again, it makes a dramatic difference. Some good, some not so good. But you can adjust these. For instance, if you wanted to bring down the size of the stroke, click on that. Makes that part much smaller. Pattern overlay. Actually, we're going to leave that one alone. Drop shadow. I'm not going to stick with this, but again, I want to give you the idea that you can make adjustments. So what you see is not necessarily what you get. Okay, I'm going to come back down here, go to Styles again. I'm going to unselect, so that brings us back to the regular menu. And I'm going to try Bevel and Emboss. I don't love that. Let's try this with a linear burn. Doesn't make it stand out. Again, there's a ton of stuff here to play with. And again, from the previous video, you saw that we can do things with the bevel. I'm going to go ahead and unselect that. I'm going to come down to Gradient Overlay, again, just for giggles. And a little darker there. I don't love it. Come back here. And I click on Effects again. I'm going to come back and add a drop shadow. And there we go. Let me try this all the way around, and it just makes it look fuzzy because of the size. Don't exactly love that either. I'm going to get rid of that gradient overlay. So unselect. And I'm actually going to I'm going to add this again, and it just kind of intensifies it. You can also literally just increase the numbers to make those changes as well. Okay. You can play with any of these. Color overlay, for instance. You can do that at, say, a color dodge, soft light. There's just a ton of things in here that you can do. And click OK. I just want to keep this very simple because this is a tutorial. And there we go. I'm going to click T again. So I want to change that font. And again, normally I use a much wider screen and I'm able to see the changes, like you saw that one pop out there with the size. It's covered right now, of course, by this list that we're going through. And let's try something, anything else. The more fonts you have, the harder this becomes. But I do encourage you to keep up on fonts. There's a lot of locations that you can use to download free fonts as we went through previously. And just be sure to keep your software defender stuff up to date for viruses and all that, because nothing is perfect. Let's try that. Nope, don't like that. And I'm going to just drag this down so that we get closer to where we were. Nah, I don't love that either. This is, again, the hardest part, just making those decisions. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Like I said, it really is the toughest part here. Let's try, just for giggles, we'll give that a shot. Oh, okay, we're going to edit, undo, there we go. And use my little mover, make that a little bigger. I'm not in love with this, but I wanted to see if it would grow on me. It hasn't. Edit, undo. We can also actually just hit escape to take that back. And T for text. Let me come back up here again. Go quick. Nah. I may come back to something really simple here. There we go. And same thing, extra text, just create a new layer. You can do a lot of things with this, including each word could be a different color, a different font, a different size if you want to make an impact on something. And again, this does not have to be the same font or the same color. Sometimes it's a little bit simpler just to use the same font in a smaller size with a different color, because you know then that it will look okay with it. Let's take a peek here, take that underneath. And I'm going to come back, layer, layer style, drop shadow. And for the moment, we can call it done. I don't know that I would send that out as an AV, but again, this is just to give you ideas of what you're doing and how to do it. Have fun with it. It is whatever you want to make of it. Again, we're going to file, save, file, export, quick export as PNG, and it goes back to where you had it, and save. It's going to ask you if you want to replace it. You do, and you're done. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know.